Hi, my name is Liz Hathaway and this is my astrological look at the week ahead, the week starting Monday, August 31st, 2020. This is in many ways a kind of exciting week, I think. The female planets and signs are very much coming to the foreground this week, and I'm saying this because they are creating a shape which astrologers call a mystic rectangle, and the planets that are involved in this are in feminine signs. So what is a mystical rectangle? We're looking at two trines, two oppositions and two sextiles. Okay, so what we have this week on the sextile side, we have Mercury sextile Venus on one end, and on the other end we have the Capricorn planet sextiling Neptune. The trines, the two trines are coming from the Mercury trines to Pluto and Saturn, and on the other end there we have a trine from Venus to Neptune, and that moon in Pisces post full moon kind of reinforces that planetary shape. So we have a sort of a rectangle, sextile, sextiles, two oppositions, and then on the outside two trines. So this is a very powerful configuration, and it is running through this week. As I said, the signs involved are the feminine signs. So we have Virgo, we have Cancer, we have Pisces, and we have Capricorn. So this is a very solid shape, and it's a very solid base. It's got a strong sense of balance to it. The oppositions are tempered by sextiles and trines. So there's a sense of integration here, and a sense as well of, certainly with earth and water, of fertility, of creativity, but also practicality and a hands-onness to the week. Mercury, of course, very powerful placed at the moment in his home sign. Saturn as well in Capricorn, Neptune in Pisces. So we can, certainly on a personal level, I think this is a very transitional, coming into the full moon as well, very transitional, but a week as well where we can kind of pull it all together in a way, because when we get to the weekend as well, we see a certain shift in the inner planets, with Mercury going into Libra and Venus into Leo. So it's that mystic rectangle is really centering, grounding and focusing certainly events on the individual level. It's very practical, that mystical rectangle there. So what have we got on an aspect wise? We have, I'm going to say, begin with Tuesday, looking just at the major aspects now. We have Mercury in Virgo, where it is the scribe, where it is able to order, where it is able to be discerning. And it's always got that sort of hands-on practicality, Virgo. It's not fanciful, it's grounded. It's like this is the best way to do it. And it trines Pluto. So it's got a lot of power running through it, that approach to things. Thinking as well, that mystic rectangle. So that is the approach we want. Practical, hands-on, cut through the crap, go for it. Then we come into that wonderful full moon on Wednesday, which is of course coloured by this mystic rectangle because it's tying into that. So it's very much about, it's a Pisces full moon, which is, Virgo's great, Virgo's practical, Virgo's hands-on, Virgo is extremely helpful, and what can I do for you? But Pisces is much more, reminding us about our dreams, about our future plans, about the imagination, about dreamlike states, if you like, and allowing, because the problem with Virgo, it can become so rational that it doesn't always leave enough room for the imaginal, for the sensitive, for the fanciful, for the daydream, for the mysterious to move through us. And this is what Neptune Pisces does. It reminds us that whatever the mind can encapsulate, there's always much more than that. This is the oceanic. There's always so much more depths we can plumb. So it's a great full moon, a mysterious full moon, falling on the day that we get one of those oppositions coming in from that mystic triangle, mystic rectangle, the Venus opposite Saturn. Always a tricky opposition, always linked to feelings of self-worth or not valuing ourselves enough because maybe our childhood was coloured by us not being valued enough. It's that feeling always with Venus Saturn that love has to be earned as opposed to given. And in Virgo season, that coloured by, you know, this hugely self-critical sort of force as well. So that is a difficult opposition, but it's followed. We have Sun trine Uranus on Wednesday as well. So there is room for the zany, for the unusual, for the different approach to, you know, Uranus always enlarges things. You know, when it was discovered, the universe was twice the size suddenly. So Uranus is reminding that Virgo sun in a way, that center of ourselves. There's much more here, you know, there's much more than we dreamt of as being possible. Expand your horizons, think big, think beyond, you know, the rule book. Challenge authority. That's also Sun trine Uranus. And certainly with Mercury square in the nodes, maybe our future depends as well on challenging our preconceived notions, what we were fed as children, to break out of the box, if you like. Thursday we have Mercury trine Saturn. So Mercury trine Saturn, it's really giving things their place. It's organizing. It's very structured as well. And there's been a lot gone on in this year. So this is maybe a moment as we come slowly now approaching Libra season that we're trying to create the balance there, to draw up the balance. But yeah, the Mercury is still rising ahead of the Sun, so there's this sense of foresight as well, of being able to think ahead in some way. Last aspect that Mercury will make, I think, is the sextile to Venus as well. So again, we see this mystic rectangle, really still, you know, the last edges of it coming into play towards Thursday, Friday. Friday, Venus square Mars, there's friction there, there's tension there. Venus in Cancer, of course, is very home-loving. Mars in Aries is willing to break ties, is willing to forge its own path. It's energizing Venus. It's almost like a moment of conception in a way of something. And then we see on Saturday, Mercury moves into Libra, where it's much more about, indeed, balance, harmony, allowing more air through. It's an air sign. So it's, what do you think? It's drawing in opinions that are not just personal. There's an masculine air sign. It's much more engaged. And then on Sunday, we see Venus moving from homey, caring, cherishing, nurturing Cancer into I am, you know, Leo. I am powerful. I am a female force to be reckoned with. This is a very empowering, I think, energy for women. And this is all happening, you know, this week. And then next week, of course, the big event is Mars will go retrograde. And then we suddenly have, for a few days next week, this massive, massive amount of planets retrograde. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. So 6 of the 10 for a few days until Jupiter goes direct on the 13th. And this is all happening while this mystical rectangle is in play. So look where these are falling in your chart, and try and work with those houses and the planets in your chart that are picking up on these planets that are caught in this mystic rectangle. I'll say it again. We're talking about Mercury, Virgo, Venus, Cancer, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Capricorn, and Neptune in Pisces. Structured, grounded, balanced, integrated, thinking ahead. Have a great week. Thank you for listening. Bye.